Okay, let's look at another example here, a little more complex. If Matt can produce 40 newtons of force on his 8-kilogram bike by pedaling, and there's a drag force of 10 newtons and a friction force of 20 newtons on the bike, what is the net force? So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to draw a picture. So here's bike. Back's on the bike. And we're going to label our stuff so I can produce 40 newtons of force. That's pushing me forward. The mass of the bike is 8 kilograms. And we have drag, so that means force of drag is 10 newtons. And we have the friction force. Friction force of 20 newtons. So there's our picture. We've got stuff labeled. So now we need a free body diagram because we have these forces working on. So here's a bike. And we have a 40 Newton force, which is the force of the pedaling. Actually, we want to, let's redo that. Make that bigger so we just have, there's the bike. And we have the force of the pedal, and then we have drag and friction. So we have the force of drag and the force of friction. Okay, maybe we should make those a little smaller there. We have a drag force and then a friction force. Okay, so now we do our sum of the forces. We're going to add up all the forces acting on the bike from that free body diagram. So we're going to add up our forces, and we're going to say that we have the pedal force plus the, oops, let's do that right, the drag force plus the friction force. Now, we need to worry about their direction, so we need to come over to our free body diagram again. We need to label our positive direction. So I'm going to say right is positive. So that way is positive. So that means the pedal is positive, but the drag is in the negative direction and the friction is in the negative direction. So that will make our formula, or some of the forces now, force push, minus the drag force, minus the friction force. And we want, right here it says, we want the net force. And so all that is always equal to, when we do some of the forces, our net force. Okay, so now we can put our forces in because we know the pedal force is 40 newtons minus the drag force, which we can see right here, is 10 newtons minus our friction force, which is 20 newtons, and that's our net force. And so 40 minus 10 minus 20 is going to be positive 10 newtons. So our net force is positive 10 newtons, or 10 newtons in the positive direction. And the way we've done it is right, but you could actually label positive as the other way. You could label your picture right here. You could turn it around however you want. We just did everything to the right, so it's the positive 10 newtons is our answer.